Hello again, friends, and you are our friends, and welcome back for another very special edition of Jim Cornette's Drive-Thru right here, sitting at home, listening to us on your computer, perhaps on your headphones, maybe on your phone itself, using the speaker function, or on a Bluetooth speaker nearby. I am your host, the great Brian Last, and joining me as he does each and every week, the exalted one of the cult of Cornette, Mr. Jim Cornette.
Maybe on your gramophone, your Victrola, listening to it.
Do you have one? You seem like you would have an old record player.
I have several. Actually, the oldest one I have is an Edison Amberola from 1914.
Wow.
It uses these cylindrical records.
Yeah. Wow.
And it played up until the point where I believe the spring that when you wind it up, and then you put the needle down on the cylindrical record that goes over the thing that spins, and it plays, but it now it won't play fast. I believe the spring has sprung. And you can't just find people to work on those things willy-nilly, and it hadn't been at the top of my list, to be honest with you, and also now I don't want anybody in my home. But yes, that's the oldest one that I have.
Are you a record collector?
No, not really. I haven't got more than fucking 1,500 or 2,000 of them.
Okay. Do you focus on the sound? I mean, are you an audiophile? Are you someone who, if you hear that a record that you love, an album that you loved, has been reissued, new vinyl, new mix, new mastering, do you want it, or are you happy with what you have?
No, because I have the album to begin with. So I don't need to have it reissued, and it sounds just as good because it sounds like a record. No, actually, in the late 70s, early 80s, when I started making some money from the photography and started getting into high-end audio and video before it all went to shit and became all digital and it was no fun anymore. Yeah, you know, they would have the high-fidelity Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon pressing. What was it? They had a series with a yellow strip above the album cover that it was extra high fidelity. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I have several of those. And I used to get the big high-end cassette decks with the level meters and the fucking bells and whistles so that you could then tape the record onto cassettes, and that's where my car tapes came from. But I paid $350 in 1979 for this beautiful fucking cassette deck. And it could do everything, and everything sounded like $1 million and had these fluorescent peak meters and everything. And you turn the lights off in the room and have all the level meters going and the fucking needles popping up and down. It was very impressive.
Well, I, for one, am impressed, but we'll see if you can impress the listeners today. I know this is a special edition, but even with that, we have some questions that have been sent in that we want to make sure we get in because we are so packed with content this week. We have to make sure we get some questions on one of these shows.
Yes, and this is Monday, April 6th. You're hearing this now, right? So on Tuesday, April 7th, the regular edition of the Drive-Thru will not only review WrestleMania. I think Vince McMahon should announce attendance at 97,000 just to fuck with people. But also, we're going to have Stephen P. New on as a guest to talk about the new regulations as relates to whether independent contractors, i.e. some pro wrestlers, now can be eligible for unemployment. And then this week on The Experience on Friday the 10th, we will have our interview with Kevin Sullivan for the first time ever. He's going to open up on a mainstream format platform and talk about his relationship with Nancy, the events with Chris Benoit, the aftermath, etc., and react to the documentary from Dark Side of the Ring that aired a couple of weeks ago. That's this Friday on The Experience on the 10th. That's going to be a lengthy program as well. So we got all kinds of stuff going on this week.
We do, and we're going to tell everyone about a very special new program they could check out. But why don't we get some questions here on the show from the Cult of Cornette for you first. This first one, Jim, was sent in to cornydrivethrue@gmail.com. From William in Brandon, Florida. Hello, Jim. This was Triple H's response to a question about where he would be if he did not marry Stephanie. Quote, from a business standpoint, I like to think I'd be doing the same thing because of that relationship I had with Vince. and the creative relationship that we had long before any of that. He was referring to his relationship with Vince at the start of the Attitude Era when he was helping Vince with booking ideas. Set the story straight on this, and please set the story straight about how Triple H and Stephanie's relationship got started. I've heard so many different versions of this by Triple H himself that I've lost track.
Well, I wasn't there in the car with him, so I don't know how the relationship got started. I'm not going to comment on people's relationships if I don't know anything about them. But I can comment on this. Yes, during the Attitude Era, when Triple H was one of the main event guys, he was the latter stages of the Attitude Era. The first stage of the Attitude Era, he wasn't a main event guy. But he was giving Vince ideas like every other top guy did. And he always did take more incentive. He would... Michaels, I think, wanted to sit in the production meeting so he could figure out who to fucking sabotage later on. Triple H started sitting in the production meetings, etc. He was always interested in the business end. But I think it's a stretch at minimum to say that he would be, whatever his title is now, vice president and executive assistant grand poobah of the WWE had he not married the boss's daughter. No matter how much Vince has loved somebody or no matter how long they have worked there in any position of responsibility, there comes a time when you must go. And I don't know that that time would have come for him had he not been part of the family. He was always interested in the business, and he was obviously always a politician, let's say, that wanted to get involved in the office. But Brian, could anybody have stayed in that position or a position of power, position of prominence that long in the WWE and not been fired except if they were part of the family?
The only other person I could think of would be Pat Patterson.
Yeah, and Pat came and went a few times, and Pat a couple times was going to retire and a couple times wasn't, and then he would come back on his schedule. He wasn't a constant presence, over the last 15 or 20 years or whatever, but also Pat never wanted to work in the office. He wanted to be in the office. He didn't want to work in the office. He didn't want to go to the office every day. He wanted to be what in the office used to be in wrestling, working on creative with Vince at the house or in the car or whatever. So Pat was never wanting to be a vice president and be in the business end of things and, do what Triple H has done. That wasn't his interest. So if he had have had to do that also, I mean, for fuck's sake, Vince just fired the two top executives in the company because he got up on the wrong side of the bed and just decided to do it, I guess, because normally they plan these things out, but he just, nope, they're gone, they're done. So yeah, without having been married to Stephanie, I don't think even Shane left and went and did his own shit because he saw that Vince was not going to put the company in his hands, was going to put it in Stephanie's hands, and just decided to go and do his own thing. A lot of shit would have been different if Vince had listened to Shane. Shane wanted to buy the UFC before the fucking Fertittas did. Vince didn't know what the fucking UFC was.
Well, on this topic, I see here we got another email. I guess this may be from the same interview. This was sent to cornydrivethru@gmail.com from Tom Hennessy in Philadelphia. Triple H was doing an interview with one of Barstool's podcasts, and they asked how he became the booker. And Triple H goes, well, it was Vince and two guys, and the first guy had left, and then Vince Russo left to go to WCW, which turned out to be a great decision. So I just told Vince, since he was by himself, if he ever needed someone to bounce ideas off, yada, yada, yada.
What?
And then this guy, Tom, wrote, I found it fucked up that he couldn't even say Jim's name. Jim left because he hated Russo. He never did anything fucked up to Vince. I guess because Jim reminds them of actual wrestling, they won't use his name anymore.
Well, no,
Please let Jim know about this bullshit. I find it hilarious WWE tries to bury anything to do with wrestling. So what are your thoughts on Triple H's story of how he joined the booking team?
I didn't get that he couldn't say my name. I just, when the fuck does he think any of this actually happened? First of all, Triple H was never the fucking booker. Secondly, by the time that Russo and fucking Ferrara, paper carrier, by the time they bailed and went, that's when he was starting to do the fucking TV writer thing anyway. And then Stephanie became the head of creative somehow with a team of writers assisting her. That he just encapsulated about a fucking 3 or 4 year period there and called himself the booker. Did you ever hear it reported that Triple H was the booker of the WWF?
I did not. And just to be clear, though, this is what Tom Hennessy from Philadelphia is saying. We don't know if these are the exact words.
Well, yes, that's why I'm saying I don't know about that whole thing.
So he was, when you were still on the creative team, as we now call it, the booking team, and it was you and Russo and Vince, and I guess Bruce Pritchard he would pop in and out.
And JR.
And JR. Pat Patterson wasn't actively participating, and was Triple H already actively participating?
No, Triple H wasn't doing it. This was 96 and 97. Triple H wasn't doing anything but getting heat all over himself. He had fucking... that was King of the Ring 96 when he participated in the curtain call, and nobody wanted to fucking speak to him for 6 months or so. And with me, it was longer. And Pat was still popping in and out. Yes, Pat would come to a lot of the writing meetings at Vince's house, because he lived there in Connecticut still at that time. He was definitely working as the top road agent. At one point, it was just me and Bruce. Pat would pop in from time to time. JR would pop in from time to time. That was through 96. Early 97 is when we were saddled with Shitstain. And then, then Bruce was back at the office, and it was me and Shitstain. And then by the end of 97, I was off, and it was just Vince and Shitstain for a little while, and then that's when they brought that pudgy fucking goof Ferrara in. And that was for much of 98. But I never went to a creative meeting that Triple H was involved in, because he wasn't involved in any at that point, and he didn't start sitting in on the production meetings until the Russo-Ferrara era, and then he was not, to my knowledge, in the actual creative meetings, but he was sitting in at the production meetings and trying to take more of an agent type role. But if he did say all that, it was basically an oversimplification of what he said, or it was an oversimplification of what he did.
Well, to kind of tie everything together to that first part of the question, or that first question, where do you think Triple H would be today if he had not married Stephanie? And let's say he could either be in the WWE or outside of the WWE. Where do you think he would be as a wrestler, or potentially as a wrestling executive today? He would either be one of the guys that was on top in the Attitude Era that they bring back and treat fairly well, making Legends appearances, or he would have transitioned to an agent and probably be the senior agent or whatever. He would not be a fucking multi-billionaire or millionaire. And he would not probably, I don't think he would have gotten an open checkbook for NXT. I don't think he would have been able to do some of the things of the magnitude he has done unless he had the family connection, but he probably still would have been involved in a lot of it. Maybe not even full time anymore. If he'd gone as far as he could go as an agent or a producer or whatever, and he didn't really want to do it anymore because he had the money, he might be retired and just making shots as a talent. He wouldn't be hurting. Because once he had that fucking run from the late 90s through the mid 2000s, and he's a smart guy, he would be fixed. But I don't see these global fucking developmental territories popping up around the fucking earth and all that other stuff unless he was in the family. Well, Jim, another question we've heard from a lot of people in the last few days. Obviously, we're going to talk about WrestleMania on the drive-thru, which comes out tomorrow as this comes out on Tuesday. But there was a go-home show, Smackdown, on Friday, and the program ended with a interview with John Cena, which turned into, I guess, a little bit of an angle with John Cena, if we can call it that. I don't know what to call it. We'll get your take in a second, but John Cena.
Whoever wrote that angle had a little bit of the bubbly.
It was John Cena.
Maybe
and
a little bit of the fucking purple microdot.
Bray Wyatt. I know that you did get a chance to check this out. What are your thoughts?
I know you did get a chance to check this out because you're the one that made me fucking watch it. You said, did you see what I tweeted? I said, no, I didn't watch the fucking video or whatever, but you got to watch it. Why have we now reached the point where every wrestling promotion on the planet Earth has an invisible wrestler or a disappearing wrestler or a teleporting wrestler or a reappearing wrestler? I wish all these people that appear and disappear would disappear and not reappear. From the whole unbelievable, to quote Don Knotts in The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, the horribleness and the awfulness of it will never actually be forgotten. Or the creepy, spooky music. Did the Bray Wyatt just have somebody on the back with an organ that he could cue to cue the creepy, spooky music when he surprised John Cena? Was Cena supposed to be scared of the fucking creepy little goddamn hand puppets when it's clearly somebody behind the fucking railing with their hand up a sock puppet's ass?
Does Bray Wyatt have a team of puppeteers?
Bray Wyatt has a team of evil puppeteers. Puppeteers that have sold their souls in the service of Satan and are now waiting the opportunity to crawl behind barricades and hide from pro wrestlers while they stick their hands up sock puppets' anal orifices.
And by the way, real quick, why are there barricades if there are no fans?
Fuck, I wish they'd put up some more fucking blockades and obstacles and barricades for me seeing shit like this. Yes, that is stupid. You're correct. But when we had fans that wanted to knife us and kill us in Mid-South, you couldn't find a goddamn barricade. They had a clothesline strung around the ring. Now they got a fucking arena that's not only completely empty, but it's illegal to go into it, and they got barricades. Fucking hell. But all that was goofy enough. John just standing there, a major star, just standing there, putting up with all this stuff and acting bewildered and possibly fearful, if not cautious or guarded. And then suddenly the fucking guy appears in the ring and goes boo and scares him. And then the lights go out and they come back on and he's gone. He's disappeared again. What the Why? I say, why? I don't know what to say about that. I'm not critiquing wrestling here because there's nothing about this doesn't have anything to do with professional wrestling. I don't know what I'm fucking doing. I'm watching science fucking fiction. Yeah, horror movies are cool because they tell a story that you can actually kind of believe, if it's a good one, could happen. They set up a premise that's supposedly somewhat plausible. You can stumble into a goddamn family of inbred fucking decrepit hillbillies in the wilds of Arkansas somewhere, and they could potentially want to eat you and skull fuck you or whatever the fuck. Or, yes, Frankenstein, okay, a brilliant scientist. Fucking, with what they knew in 1812, a brilliant scientist puts dead bodies together and fucking hits it with a shot of lightning and it comes back to life but goes horribly wrong. At least there's some attempt to make it seem like that it could happen, and then that's what's scary about the horror movie. But you, down deep, it's a fucking horror movie. Well, here, this is something that's supposed to be presented as legitimate, but it's not, and the people don't even get into it because since it's supposed to be presented as legitimate, you can't even lose yourself in, well, that guy could really be supernatural, because he's not. You're not even creating a fictional world where you then try to tell a plausible story. You are taking a world that's supposed to be nonfiction and doing stupid shit in it that can't actually really happen. So you're doing the exact opposite of the proper method of storytelling, in my opinion. Does that make any sense?
It does. And my point with my tweet was, I wrote that this is what bothers me about the Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho stuff, is because this WWE style of entertainment is what I want an alternative to. I don't want another version. I don't want a rival version of this type of entertainment. I want professional wrestling.
You mean you want a sports-based presentation introducing statistics and analytics to the game?
Which would be the exact polar opposite of what WWE is. That's exactly what I want. And I think that's the opportunity that's there for AEW. So when they introduce teleporting Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho fighting with drones and comedy skits with him saying, "Send out the hounds," and another cameraman is there to film a bunch of small dogs running out, I could appreciate it if it was on Adult Swim or Comedy Central. But it doesn't belong here, and part of the reason why it bothers me is because this is what WWE is doing. I want something different than this, not another version.
Oh, but now wait a minute. If you tell the all petite wrestling fans that their show is doing the same shit as WWE is doing, well, they'll scream at you. They'll say, "Well,
No!
you suck.
No! It was funny! Wrestling's supposed to be funny!
And silly.
You can't say you didn't laugh when Chris Jericho gave the drone his shirt!
Yes, I can say that. I can say I didn't laugh because somebody actually, I think, either tweeted this or I read it somewhere on a comment when I was looking at the YouTube channel or whatever. But basically, they said Cornette flips out about this shit because he's not just looking, is this moment funny or is this moment entertaining? Or is this person being entertaining in this moment because I have not only studied this but booked this? I'm looking at how this affects my business or the business in 6 months or a year and long term down the road. What type of feeling do I want this guy to give the fans? Do I want him to be viewed as a legitimate ass-kicking guy that blah, 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 or do I want him to have been remembered as being a kind of a jolly joker? I look at this shit and I go, no, each individual thing is not going to kill the fucking, well, a business is already dead. Let's face it. It's an embarrassment. Professional wrestling. You can find some good guys some places, but you can't watch a show now from pretty much any fucking promotion all the way through without saying something is fucking stupid. But I look at how the cumulative effect that shit like this has on the business. And in 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, it's not going to do it any good, just like the stupid shit we did 20 years ago didn't do us any good 10 years ago. It's not hard to see this shit coming. And it gets further and further into goofiness and further into entertainment. And the people following go further and further into smaller numbers. In 20 years, we've lost 4/5 of the audience, from 10 million people on a Monday night to 2 million people. And part of it is because of all the stupid shit we did 20 years ago. We had Steve Austin and The Rock. We had fucking Undertaker and Mick Foley. We had major stars that were going to fucking draw because they were over. We did too much hot shotting and too much bullshit and too much of shit-stained shit where everybody got to do something and people saw fucking car wrecks in every segment when they didn't need to because the crowds were going to be there because the guys on top were the ones drawn. And then when we lost Austin and Rock to Hollywood, Austin to a horrible heel turn and bad booking, and WCW as an alternative, we lost half the audience. And now that wrestling is supposed to be under this big resurgence, we have a quarter of the audience. And it's all because nobody except The type of fan who sits there and says all elite wrestling is great fucking pro wrestling. Nobody wants to see disappearing, teleporting, appearing, invisible, supernatural, or otherwise fucking science fiction fucking wrestling. Or that fucking stupid Lucha Underground horse shit would have taken off. Somebody told me on Impact they actually killed James Mitchell the other week. I don't watch it, and I'm not going to if that's what they're doing, but they actually killed him.
I think that's then the second death I've heard about, because I think a while back it may have been Allie, actually, the bunny from AEW, where she was stabbed to death on Impact. I may be wrong.
She was stabbed to death. I remember when I was on the booking committee in WCW, TBS sent us a memo because we put a plastic bag over Ric Flair's head. Now they can just come out and kill people. Then actually that had been the third death. Allie and James Mitchell, but first came their fucking ratings. So this is what it is.
For those of you wondering, as you're listening to this, Jim has not yet watched the Boneyard match, and we are recording this Sunday morning, so he has not seen whatever it is they're going to do tonight on WrestleMania. So
that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
This is kind of a perfect setup for that. But Jim, let me get at least one more question here before we go to our special preview of a brand new show that everyone's going to get a kick out of. This question was sent to cornydrivethrue@gmail.com from Kai in Palo Alto, California. I've noticed in recent years that Vince often wears these weird two-tone colored ties where the knot and the blade section have different designs. I've never seen anyone else wearing this kind of tie before. Vince doesn't seem like the kind of person to care too much about his own clothing fashion. Do you know the story behind why Vince started wearing these ties? Can you think of any other unique clothing fashions he had?
Well, I never specifically asked him, Vince, how do you pick them ties? But that Vince doesn't care about his fashions, holy fuck. I'm not saying that they all are great, but does he care about them? You remember in the 80s, he had the multicolored and the pastel suits that he would wear to do announcing and do commentary and on Tuesday Night Titans and everything. What was it, the early 90s, they did the WBF, and he had the Ica Pro, and he had those ridiculous baggy workout pants and the fucking baggy workout shirts that were, I don't know who fucking came up with that fashion, but he looked like he was trying to be, fucking, oh, God damn it. Now, it would have been a funny line if I could remember his name, the little exercise fuck. The one that they patterned fucking
Tony Little
Candido after. He went to Tony Little if he was 6'3". You remember those workout outfits he had on that he would do interviews with, and especially that WBF show for a while.
Body Wars. And
his suits. When we would go to television, here's another thing. Vince, if you were in the office with Vince on the creative team, we're riding in Vince's car, whatever. I always fucking was wearing my t-shirt and my goddamn sweatpants, and I'd have my suit bag, and you go to the building and you get dressed for the show, right? Oh no. I found that out the first fucking week. If you're with Vince and in Vince's circle, you're supposed to wear your goddamn suit to the building. And then you're supposed to sit there in it all day. And if I had to be on camera, I'd have sweated through the goddamn thing by the time I got out on television. But Vince, when he is wearing his suit, he will come to the rental car. If you have a 10-minute drive or a 2-hour drive, he will be dressed. The knot will be up around the fucking neck of whatever tie he's wearing. He will not have anything unbuttoned or out of place. He will take his jacket, his suit jacket, and he will carefully fold it inside out and lay it on top of everything in the trunk where it's completely flat. So not only is it flat and can't get wrinkled, but also as it's turned inside out, if anything does spill or any dust gets on it, it'll be on the lining that will then be inside so that his outside of his jacket is immaculate. He will then sit in the fucking car and he'll take his electric razor out of his briefcase. And while he's talking on the phone or while he's talking to you or while he's looking at his book with his glasses down on his nose, he will be shaving. For minutes and minutes on end, he will grind that shaver into his face like he's attacking the whiskers because he doesn't want to miss one single, and he'll do this multiple times per day. Have you ever seen Vince McMahon with stubble? Ever seen a picture of him with any facial hair growth whatsoever?
No, I haven't.
Exactly. He will do it at the fucking, when we're sitting at his dining room table, I've seen him doing it. When we're just at a writing day, he'd be in casual clothes. He'd be in the old workout shit. He still had that old workout shit. That's what he'd wear for the writing days, right? But he would sit at the table and just do the fucking electric razor. He's mad at his facial hair because he can't control it. And he wants to make sure that he keeps it at bay. So he is very, I don't want to say picky, but he is very concerned about his fashions. His fashions may sometimes be weird, but he's very concerned about his fashions and everybody else's fashions around him. We actually had Friday was the only day that we didn't have to wear a tie when we went to the office in Stamford. That was casual day, where you'd wear everything else you usually wore except a fucking tie. I've never been so goddamn miserable in my life.
Well, those are our questions this week here for this bonus edition. We'll try to get a few more on the drive-thru this week. We'll see how we're doing with time as we are doing a WrestleMania review, and there's so much to talk about. Ruthless Aggression at some point on either that or the Experience.
If I only had time, as Thunderbolt Patterson would say. Time is the essence. Time is a season. Time ain't no reason. Got no time to slow. Time everlasting. Time to play B-sides. Time ain't on my side. Time you'll never know.
Okay, well, this Blue Oyster Cult edition.
Very good.
Of the drive-thru. Before we wrap it up, Jim, I know we have a very special show you want to tell all the listeners about right now.
Well, that's right. Also, the folks at Wondery do all these great podcasts that we've been telling the peeps about out there for a while now. They follow conflicts, whether it be in the sports world or the legal world or the business world. And a new season of Business Wars, the podcast from Wondery, is up now about some of the greatest corporate rivalries of all time. This season focuses, believe it or not, on Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts. Coffee, I come to find out that I have never drunk in my life, but is a $100 billion plus global industry. And the two Java giants, Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, are duking it out. It started back in 1950 with Dunkin' Donuts before it was called Dunkin' Donuts. And now with the advent of Starbucks and the big money in the coffee business, well, there's heat here. It's like the WWF versus the NWA. But anyway, Business Wars. The Starbucks versus Dunkin' is this season. And like all their other podcasts, this thing is so well done. If you got some time, and we know everybody does because you're stuck in the house, listen to this clip from the new season, Starbucks versus Dunkin' of Business Wars from Wondery. And while you're doing that, subscribe to Business Wars and all the other great podcasts from Wondery on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. Brian, you will play a clip, a preview of this season, and we'll find out more about the war between the coffee giants.